I love tofu, but I know for a lot of people, they're still figuring out how to use it. They don't entirely love it, but I want you to eat more tofu because it's really good for us. So we're making sneaky tofu recipes to help you seamlessly add more tofu into your life. Starting off with a vegan chicken Waldorf salad. Now I'm using soy-free fava bean tofu here. You can also use super firm tofu if you cannot find fava bean tofu. It's totally fine. I like the fava bean tofu because it has a little more protein, and I just like the variety of some different tofus, different legumes, whatever. But use whatever tofu you can find. Now, we are going to make thin slices on each rectangle, and then we are going to make little thin cuts. I was trying my best to think of how we could replicate a shredded chicken here, so I felt these little thin pieces were a good way to go. And also, you can all use extra firm tofu if you press it beforehand. So a few options here with the tofu that you're using. Then we are going to add this into a pan with a little oil and some poultry seasoning. Whenever I use poultry seasoning, people are always asking, but isn't there chicken in there or some sort of animal product? No. Poultry seasoning is just seasonings that are used in poultry dishes. Things like sage, thyme, marjoram. So this is just a blend of all those seasonings. Makes it super easy. You can find it in the food store. So I'm just adding a few sprinkles of that on there, and we're going to cook this on the stove 10 to 15 minutes over medium heat, just so everything gets golden and cooked up. In the meantime, we're going to work on some other things. So I have 2 celery ribs that I am just going to finely chop. I love the celery to be really, really small, so that way you're not getting these big hunks of celery. Then we have some red grapes that I am just halving, and yeah, it's a little tedious, but you'll get it done. It doesn't take that long to do. And then we're going to chop up some walnuts. You can also use pecans, and if you can't have nuts, just leave it out. I also believe that some people like to add in apple or red onion, so if you want to add in some chopped up apple or red onion, feel free to do it. Have fun. This is our tofu all done. You can see most of it's golden, crispy, and it tastes really good. So I have a big bowl here with all of our prepared things. We're going to add the tofu in there. We're going to add in 3 tablespoons of vegan mayo. I'm using the Hellmann's brand, and then a cup of vegan yogurt. I personally am not a big fan of very heavily mayo dishes, so that's why I use the yogurt and the mayo, obviously all the vegan, whatever. So that's why I do it that way. But if you want to go in more mayo, vegan mayo, you definitely can. We're adding in lemon juice and salt and pepper. And that's it. Super easy, super simple. You may be thinking this isn't the most sneakiest way to incorporate tofu, and it's definitely not. My other 2 ways are definitely sneakier. But because there's so much going on in here, there's so much flavor, and then when you put it on a sandwich or in a lettuce wrap or something, you're not detecting tofu. It's not big, chunky pieces of tofu or anything like that. So I think if people are skeptical of tofu, mixing it up in this way and you wouldn't even know it's in there. And it's in there, there's a flavor of the poultry seasoning, and that's it. It's delicious. So I'm going to pop this in a bowl. You can enjoy this right away with it kind of being slightly warm, or of course, pop it in the fridge until you are ready to eat it. And just to help it look a little prettier, I added some freshly cut grapes right on top, and like 1 or 2 little walnuts and some black pepper, just to give it a little bit of a look, and a piece of parsley, because why not? But there you go. It's really easy, really delicious. Great for making for lunches, get-togethers, whatever. So let's throw it on a sandwich so you can see it in action. I have 2 pieces of sourdough bread here. And yeah, just scoop it on top. I added some sprouts because I like how they look, but you could of course do lettuce. You can make a whole fun thing with this. Put it on lettuce wraps, put it on bell peppers. And it's really simple, really easy to make. Great for keeping on hand during the week. And like I said, because it's in there with everything, you really can't detect the tofu. So I still classified it as sneaky. Next up, we're making one of my favorite desserts, these personal protein cheesecakes. They're so good. So we're starting off with some Catalina Crunch. We're going to blend this up. Catalina Crunch is just a protein cereal. So I just blend it up to help make our little graham cracker crust. I have 3 little ramekins that I am lightly spraying with spray oil just because I always get nervous about things sticking. So I am just going to divide the Catalina Crunch crumbs evenly amongst the 3 ramekins, and I will press it down with my spoon. These little protein cheesecakes are so good. They're so fun. Then in a blender, we're adding in non-dairy milk, vegan cream cheese, maple syrup, and then here's our sneaky tofu. We're going to be using firm tofu for this. I always use silken tofu when I make my big cheesecakes, but when I make the little ones, I like the firm tofu better, so I have to start trying to make big ones with firm tofu. I like the consistency. It's really good. And I also added in vanilla extract. And that's it. Divide this amongst the 3 ramekins, easy done, and spread it out, smooth it out. This is not overly sweet, but between the crust and then our syrupy strawberries, it has tons of sweetness, tons of flavor. So if you taste this and you're kind of like, oh, that's not as sweet as I thought it would be, don't worry. This goes in the oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. Now, let's make our little strawberry syrup. These were some strawberries that were kind of on their way out, so this was a perfect time to use them. I just sliced them, add in some vanilla extract, a little maple syrup, cook this on the stove for about 10 to 15 minutes over low heat, and you can add in a little water, 1 to 2 tablespoons, as it cooks, and you just get this little jammy strawberry syrup topping, and that's it. Now our little vegan cheesecakes are done. Take them out of the oven, let them cool on the counter for 10-15 minutes, and then let them cool in the fridge for at least 1 to 2 hours. But overnight is best. They get better as they sit in the fridge. Add your little strawberries on top, and look at how good this is. Seriously, when I have this ready to go for dessert every night, I am so excited because who doesn't love a little cheesecake waiting for you? And like I said, this has a nice amount of protein and it's really delicious and it's so fun. I really love making this creamy zucchini sauce and keeping it in the fridge. I love making any kind of sauce with blended up tofu and veggies because it really is just so great to have on hand. It's so awesome to freeze. I literally used my other creamy tomato sauce last night for my boyfriend for a super quick dinner. It's just really great to make. So we're taking 3 zucchini and we're just going to make rough chops. Now, if you want to peel the zucchini, you can. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I didn't feel like doing it, so I didn't. The only thing is that you'll just have little bits of green in the sauce. Not a big deal to me. I'm going to roughly chop some Vidalia onion. Then we're going to throw in 2 garlic cloves, 1/4 cup of cashews, and we're using 1/2 block of extra firm tofu. And I'm just going to break this up into pieces with my hands. If you want to use firm tofu, you can. I use the extra firm just for a little bit of a protein boost. It has a little bit more protein than the firm does. Now, this is vegan whey that was left over from me making vegan cottage cheese. So I wanted to put it to good use in my sauce, but of course you can just use water too. That's totally fine. And then I'm going to add in some better than bouillon. We're going to cook this on the stove for 30 minutes over a medium heat until it looks like this, until all the liquid is gone and everything is cooked down and soft. Now we are going to throw this into our blender and we're going to blend it up with some non-dairy milk. And that's it. It's actually so simple. It's crazy. Of course, if you want to add in other things like basil, make it give a little pesto feel, you could add in some spinach. You could add in kale, cauliflower if you want to get in more veggies. But it's so easy to make. It's so delicious. And it's, I don't know, kind of a little bit like a white sauce, you know, like an Alfredo sauce, if you will. But it's really delicious. I love how creamy it is. And if you can't have nuts, don't worry. You could just either sub in white beans or use more tofu, or you can totally leave it out too. It's fine. I had to blend this in batches because my blender was not quite big enough, but we got there. We got it nice and smooth and creamy, exactly how we want it to be. Then you can, of course, taste it and add in any extra seasonings you like. Because of the better than bouillon, it has plenty of flavor, I feel. So I usually don't add in anything else. But with all the veggies, the better than bouillon, it's good for me. If you want to add in other things, have fun. Do what you want. It's your kitchen. And that's it. Now you can use this on tofu. I mean, obviously I love using it on pasta. I put it on a protein pasta, and this is such an easy weeknight dinner. I know I am getting everything I need, all the nutrients, and it's so good. So I hope you guys enjoyed these sneaky tofu recipes. As always, I have plenty more sneaky tofu recipes because if there's one thing I love, it is sneaky tofu. So I hope you enjoy. Let me know if you're trying these out. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon with more videos. Bye!